Hello everyone, welcome in today's video. So in today's video, we're going to look at how to build, deploy, and sell REST APIs. So currently right now in the tech industry, everyone is building using AI. There's a lot of AI automation going on, AI integration that is going on, but there's one big problem. Now, when it comes to AI, they all feed or fuel from REST APIs or APIs. And the existing APIs for different companies, they rely on data that is global and generic. So you find you're using a food recipe API that is maybe made by a person in Europe, but for your country or for your locality, if you're doing automation, let's say you are in Kenya or you are in South Africa and you're making an automation chatbot that is going to rely on the data, you don't want to use a generic API. So we're going to look at how local developers, they can hook into niched areas and they build REST APIs for purposes of integrating for automation and agents. So we're just going to take an idea. For example, we're going to look at how to build a food recipe API for the Ugandan context. And I built this. So we built this together, Yuga Food API. And this is a local API that gives only the food recipes for local foods in Uganda. What this means is that any food company, any company in Uganda which want to tap into this API would use this API because it is niched and it has the data they would want basically for this purpose. Because if a company from your locality is doing automation, they would want the data that is trained on that culture and they want that specific data. So this is a very big niche and is a very big thing for developers to concentrate into their localities, come up with ideas that can transform and build those niched APIs that local companies or local developers, they can tap into to push. So we built this API together, and this API has everything to do with from authentication with Google authentication. We have API keys. You can create API keys. Then you can use these API keys to authorize requests. So if you just look at the this is our Google Docs. This is the API docs that we built. So you can see this. So if I try to access, for example, recipes and try to access them, you see that get this error for missing invite API key. That means that API is fully protected, and this is exactly what we looked into this one. We also did billing, whereby we integrated the local payment integration. I added the mobile money for Uganda. So this is also good to integrate the local payment gateways in your country, as this is going to be specifically used in your country. Yeah, so if you're just interested in watching the full video, let's dive in and get started. Hello everyone, welcome in today's video. So currently right now in the tech space, everything is AI, whether integration and automation, whether building and shipping products, we're using AI in everything. And no one is talking about this gold mine. Everyone is busy building the next big thing. Probably not. You're not building the next big thing, but everyone is building something. But no one is talking about this gold mine. And why I'm calling it gold mine is because right now everything AI uses is to do with APIs, and no one is talking about this big gold mine of building and selling APIs specifically for AI integration and automation. Now let me just face this. Right now, let's say in your own country, there is a company A that wants a specific data for their automation, because we know very well that every ChatGPT or AI integration to do automation, it will do it via API, and it will need some certain data. Let's say we have a scenario whereby we have this company which is going to do maybe food ordering app or something like this. And this food ordering app will need recipes, maybe access to local recipes. Okay, because if you type in right now recipes API, you're going to get recipes that are made by Europeans, probably are not in that. The API you're going to get is not covering all the local foods that you have in your specific country. And this is the white gold mine, because the local recipes API in Kenya does not work for recipes API in Uganda or in Rwanda, because some of these data that AI uses are specific to different niches and different cultures. If you want, for example, the local food recipes, okay, the one for Uganda can't be the one for India. They cannot be the same, because if a person is building automation in India, is not going to need the local food recipe for Uganda. Is not going to do that. Let's say we have talk about university courses API. So look at the universities you have in your country. You might be having more than 30 universities, and each of these universities, they have their own courses. And how many people are searching for these courses on daily basis to integrate them in their tools? So this is what you're going to talk about in today's video. You're not just only talking about the opportunity. We are learning how to build, deploy, and sell REST APIs. We're going to be looking at how you choose the niche. So you choose your niche, okay, what you want to cover. And I have a detailed blog with more than 20 niches that you can choose one. And then we talk about how you research onto your researching on your niche and get the endpoints you need to work on. Okay. And then go ahead and we build the API. We deploy the API. We add also the payment gateway for that API so that people can start building it. And me personally, if you go to my website, you will see that on these times while I have tools and APIs, if you click there, you'll see that I have currently right now 2 APIs that are actually selling. Okay, so one is the gateway. This one is prominent right now in Uganda. Most people are using it. I have built another one called Edugate. Okay, I built this one called Edugate, and this one is the same. This is the university API. So if you just go there and you look at this, we're just going to build something like this eventually. Okay, we're going to build something like this whereby you can build and deploy and give access to the public to your API. So everyone who wants to use, for example, universities, colleges, courses, and everything, he can just come and use my API, and he pay for it monthly or whichever subscription they make. So this is a good way, because as I've said, this is with less competition. Most developers have already attained the skills of knowing how to build these backend APIs, but they're not seeing that opportunity right now of actually building their own local APIs that are customized to their culture and sell it to the local integrations. Because as I've said, if a person is integrating from Nairobi or from Kenya, he would want to prefer to get a local API that is giving the data within their country, not a random API on internet that is giving data from all countries. So this is a very big thing, guys. Okay, and so if you are just so much pumped, let's just dive in and get started on how to build this. So the first step, just go to this blog that I built. But before we dive in, there is one thing that someone asked me the other day, talking about the API. Let me just talk about something small before we dive in. Now, to implement on what I was saying or what I was talking about these APIs, there are some people who don't actually understand very well how this concept works. So let's say someone is building a chatbot. So this is the chatbot app. So this chatbot app will need some data. Let's say this one is interacting, as we said, the food ordering API, and it needs access to the local food recipes. So it needs access to this. Now it doesn't actually have this data right now. Okay, it doesn't have this data. So the only way it can get this data is by if someone else comes and builds what we call the API. Okay, so someone comes here and builds what we call API. Okay, and this API basically what it's doing is that someone gets data and adds it in what we call a database. So you get your all the food, you go and research and make the food recipes. Okay, you go ahead and make the food recipes like this, and these food recipes, as you can see them here, is a database. You have like hundreds and thousands of local food recipes. You add them in your DB, and the DB, instead of this app here, the blog, the chatbot app accessing direct, instead of it going direct to access your data, it's going to access it via what we call this API. So this one makes a request to this API, and now this API is coupled together with your database. Okay, so this is a DB, and this API it is just the way you can give access to the public to your database without people accessing the DB directly. So this chatbot is going to start using your data but accessing it via the API. And this API, as you can hear it, application programming interface, is an interface where this app can access your database. Okay, so that is the simple explanation of how this concept works. The chatbot, which is app A, it needs your data, which is going to be this app you're going to build and deploy it as an API, and people can go ahead and use different applications to access this. Okay, so let's now dive in and see how we are going to be able to actually build and deploy our thing. So the most important thing, as we said, we're just going to go here. I'm just going to go to onto blogs, and when you reach on the blogs on this where we have this, I'm just going to go scroll down and look for this blog which says build and sell APIs. Okay, you can just go ahead and search it on here. So you can search and say build, I think, build and deploy. Let's see, building APIs. I don't know if it is the same. It is not the same. Yeah, it is build and sell. Okay, so I'm just going to come here and say build and sell. Okay, so which one has build and sell? Building. I think these blogs, they're not all coming because I'm not seeing the one that I'm looking for, which is this one. Anyways, just scroll and look at this, or you can actually just instead use Ctrl F and you say build and sell. This one is going to automatically give it to you. What? I think I'm just like searching it wrongly actually. It even disappeared. I no longer see it. What is the name of this? Oh, it is how to build and. So we say how to build. The reason why I'm insisting on searching is that you're going to find hundreds of blogs which are new. You can see I write a lot of blogs. So by the time you watch this video, this is going to be buried somewhere and you'll not be able to see it here. So if it is easy for you to type in here how to build, you will see it here. Okay, just simply click on this, it takes you and click on it. So this is the blog that we are going to follow to build. And today we're going to write some code with irrespective. We're going to, of course, to use AI also. We're going to use AI, but we're also going to write a lot of code. Today we're going to write some code. I always spend a lot of time in my daily work activities. Currently, I just use AI in everything. But sometimes I just want to go ahead and write some, some code to feel how it works. Not forget entirely how to write some API. So this blog is containing almost everything we need to be able to research, build, and sell our APIs. Okay, I've already talked about the problem statement. You can just go ahead and still read about it. And down here, I added for you so many niches that you can actually tap into. So last time I built for the university courses API. Today I'm just going to build our local food recipe API with traditional dishes from Uganda, Nigeria, and etc. With ingredient preparations and everything. I just want to build this API. Okay, now there are a lot of things which comes with building the API. Let's talk about these blocks so that we understand what we're exactly going to build. So at first it starts with something very easy. Building, let me just put here, building and setting API. So if you just look at this, it involves two things. It involves the product itself. So the product itself we are building is the API. So we just need to be able to build the API. So this one, API is composed of two things. Okay, is composed of database. Okay, it's composed of database. So it means that we're going to have the database. So basically, this is the database. And there are some things which comes together with this API. We just have to use something to build the API, which is going to be Next.js API routes in this case. So we just use the Next.js API routes to be able to build the API. Of course, in this access database, we'll also use the Prisma ORM. Okay, we'll use Prisma for access to the database and doing queries and everything. So basically, the API is going to be composed of this. Now, there is one more problem now, because we have a concept of selling. Okay, we have a concept of selling. It means that some people are going to come to actually use this API. Okay, so we have people or apps coming to use this. So it means if we are having users, we need to know them. Okay, we need to know them, and the first thing that's going to be there is auth. Okay, so auth is going to be able to allow us to identify these users. Who are these people using our API? You don't want to give the API public access and everyone can use it without being noticed. So someone has to go ahead and sign up. And the reason why they need to sign up is not just only to identify them. No, it's because the API access is going to be through what we call API keys. So the easiest way to make sure that you identify or allow people to use the API is via the API keys. And to be able to create the API keys, a user needs to be authenticated. So we have this user and we can easily tell all his API keys from this. Okay, so this is the reason why we need these two parts. So we need authentication that is going to allow users to create an account on our API platform. And this is just no longer now an API just only. When you talk about now building and this, it becomes an API service platform. Okay, so this becomes API service platform is what now we are building. Like you're just like building a business around it. It's a complete business. You have the users who are using the API. You have the product, which is the API itself. And lastly, you need to charge these. You need to go ahead and charge these users because they're going to be using your app. Therefore, you need to actually go ahead and charge them. So the another block you're going to have is going to be payments. Okay, it's going to be payments. Now for payments, what I would actually prefer for payments is that you need, since this API is going to be automatically used by people locally in your country, what would be good is you could use a local payment gateway. Okay, a local payment gateway. Okay, because just like dealing with this local, but of course you can still always use things like Stripe. Okay, I know like some people Stripe is their local payment gateway if you're just in Europe, but if people are in Africa specifically, Stripe is not something that is readily used in Africa in most of the countries. So you might just need to look up your local payment gateways, and if you just like in East Africa, you can just go ahead and use D gateway. Okay, one of the products I talked about, D gateway, and we'll use it actually in today's video. So D gateway, if you just go back here and you type in D gateway, D gateway is this platform I built here. You can see this is also the API fully integrated on how to use it and everything. So yeah, these are the three blocks that are going to govern what you're going to build today. We have the product, we have the users, then we have payments. That's what we're going to be focusing on. And on the product also involves you to build the marketing pages for that website, because as you can see, this is the marketing pages. All these pages you're seeing here, the features page and everything, all these are actually marketing pages. Okay, so yeah, marketing pages are really, really important. Okay, so with further ado, let's actually go ahead and create an app and get started. So I'm just going to go here. As I said, I'm just going to create the local recipes API. Okay, so this is going to be really nice. So I'm just going to go down here where we get started by creating just a new project. Okay, I'm just going to name this something different, but let me just go in my folder. That is, if I can just like find this building APIs, I'm just going to open this maybe in the terminal. You could just like open this in the terminal, and I can just go ahead and paste this. Let me just name this one. So I don't know the name of this API. I'm just going to call it maybe for now just a good food recipe. I'll just like how to get I have to get the right name, but right now just like create it like this. Okay, so npm create next app. Okay, I don't know whether it is just create next app, npm create next app, and I don't think this npm is allowed on this. So I'm just going to go ahead and I don't know what I was thinking to use the terminal. Let me just go ahead and right click, open git bash. I always just use git bash all the time. So I'm just going to paste this. So I'm just going to call this food recipe API. I will just have to get it a name, as I said, in the future. I think this is npm create next app. You don't need to add at latest. It's not necessary. Just like this. This is going to go ahead and create the Next.js app. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this. Okay. This is going to give us the Next.js, latest Next.js app. So after this, now let me just explain some other thing, how we're going to speed up things. Now, we all know that it takes time to build those marketing pages. If you look at a website like this here, building all these marketing pages, building these docs, pricing pages and everything, this takes up really, really a lot of time, right? So, and this is where the JB components comes handy, okay? this is where the JB components come behind. So I just want you to come still open this. And I just want you, there are two ways we can do this. We could just go ahead and go on the blogs here, okay? Or we could just go and say slash JB slash components, okay? Just simply put slash components. And there is some components we're going to use in this video that are going to simplify some of our things. We're going to use the Scala API docs component, this one. We use the MDX, no, we're not going to use this one. We're going to use the Scala docs. We're going to use this website scaffold. So I have this component for website scaffold for marketing pages. So what you get is this one. If you look at this component here, okay? So when you install this component, what do you get? You get 10 pages out of the box. 10 pages. You got the hero section, features section, sorry, not the home section, the home page, pricing, docs, changelog, developers page, all these you get them out of the box. You get them out of the box, okay? So this is really nice. You don't have to go ahead and create this one. It has also things like this, the I18N, dark mode, and everything. So just going to start by adding this shadcn component I built that helps us to add all these files, set up some things, and then we simply based on that and we make some few edits to match our API. That is going to be very interesting, by the way. So let me see if this one has actually completed. So I'm just going to say cd into the food code dot, just going to open this. So right now, if you just like check this on terminal right now, just going to go ahead and pull up the terminal. Just going to say pnpm dev. I don't know, like I rarely run now applications like this because of using AI. Everything I've automated it in my workflows, but I really just like just miss doing this. So just going to local 3000, we just have a brand new Next.js app. Okay, just give it some second. Yeah, this is a brand new Next.js app, just like this. In a second, we're going to transform this into a fully featured website by just building this component. I don't know if it's going to help us actually install shadcn. Let's first try it actually. So I'm just going to stop this. Clear out everything, create enough space for myself so that I can see really nicely. Let's go ahead and install this component. Now to mine, I'm thinking you should be having shadcn installed, but we don't have shadcn installed. So I'm just going to see if it's going to go ahead and install shadcn for us. Okay, that would be really nice. The one problem I'm thinking, it might just like add tailwind v3. Okay, let's just like fast forward the flow. I'm just going to say yes. It's asking us, do you want to use Radix or base? I'm just going to go with Radix. Okay, then we have which preset are we going to go with? I'm just going to go with the first one, which is going to be Nova. For now, let me see. Oh. I'm just going to go with just Nova, the Geist. Okay, installing dependencies and everything. Tailwind v4. Okay, that's nice. Let's see how everything is going to scaffold in here, ladies and gentlemen. What I specifically want is to see if this is going. By the way, it's just like already updating and helping us do everything. Wow. So it actually just like updated everything, installed shadcn, because if you just go here and you see into, no. You mean this is not using shadcn components at all? Anyways, I'm just going to first go ahead and run this and see which type of errors do we actually have. Okay. Because I don't believe that everything is actually still okay. I feel like we have broken a lot of things, but the easiest way to find out is actually just go there and we see. Okay, we have some errors. Couldn't find next intil config file. Please follow this documentation, blah blah. Okay, so right now we don't have on this layout file is looking for some the next intil config file. So the easiest way I think to find out this file is to follow some blog, or what I would do is I would use AI to fix it. I don't know what to do right now. Should I just go into fixing it, or should I use AI to fix it? That's what the problem is right now. Let's just see here. Get local. I don't know if I have like the blog, because if you just like check onto this, I have probably fixed this component. Maybe by the time you watch this problem, you might not get it, because this is coming from the other that component. I think there's one file that was left out. So actually, let me just take this. Can I just like first take this image before I actually fix this problem? So I'm just going to take this and let me save this error. So I'm just going to say this is the next intil error. Okay, I'm just going to save this because I'm just going to use this to fix it. But how do we fix it right now? Because we just simply want to use it. So one way I could dig into the layout here. So if you just go to the layout, this is where the error I think is coming from. Is the error coming from this file or some other file? Yeah, it's coming from layout 133 somewhere. Is it coming from the layout? Which layout are we talking about? I'm not seeing the error for some reason. App layout. This looks like it's getting from, okay. Let's take our time inside here where we have this. This is where it is actually getting a problem of get local. Is it just like not getting like where get local is coming from, or I don't know. So I also have a blog, I believe. If I just go to JB's, like why are we starting with errors, guys? But anyways, we have just go ahead and fix this. So I'm just going to talk about like next intil. What about if I put 18? I18, something like that. Let me see the one that I have. Yeah. So I have this here. This is the setup. Okay. This is the setup that we need. So if you check in the next config, this is the first thing you need to do to wrap. So if you just go to the next config, so you can say our next config is still, I don't know if that is the only thing we need. We might just like actually just be needing only this. Let me copy this and try to add it there and see. So we just do this. Require. I don't know if already we have this plugin installed. Let's just go up here. So you could just go ahead and first add this, just in case. But I'll say by the time you watch this, maybe this error is not there, because after this video, probably I'm just going to go ahead and fix it. So I'm not sure if this is the only thing we have to do, because the required thing, it has to be, I think, mjs, the file, the name of the file has to be, no, I just like this next.js and add this. So the required syntax is recommended by Nextinter for TS and JS. Now the TypeScript error can be safely ignored by TS expect error, and we TX this one. I don't know why actually it is still giving us when they said you can actually just do this. For MJS and TS extensions, you can use the ES. I don't want to get into that because that would get us maybe into problems. So probably I'm just going to restart this. I don't know if this, what if I just actually go ahead and fix this by also disabling that, and even this one. Oh no, I don't want to use that. Maybe we just simply move this up here. I don't know why it is just like behaving that way. Okay, I think the problem is still oh, actually we have something better right now. The error is gone. We have this now problem of CSS. I don't know where this is coming from right now. Let's see, why are we now having this problem right now? So if you just look at this, I know what this one is originating from, or why is it doing that, because I'm just going to stop again. I want to see first of all the CSS if everything is okay. Okay, so this is not this is the Tailwind v4 is not like this. You don't need you don't need all these. The Tailwind v4, you don't need this. Like for example, these utilities, and you simply need a Tailwind, I guess. Let's just do this. Tailwind. I'm just going to say Tailwind CSS v4 migration. I think the only thing that changes is the way we set up in the only thing that changes is this. You simply need this. Okay. Now these other ones, they animate and other things, and so this is the only one we need. I'm not sure if we need these other ones. We might not need them, but that's the only thing we need. Now these other things, the root, the dark, I'm not sure if this is even the way, because this looks like Tailwind v3 thing. Okay. The theming and everything looks off, because you can just see here now the old way uses this Tailwind config, which I believe we also have. Oh, okay, we don't have the Tailwind config. Okay, so we have only this. Okay, so you need to remove all these, remove that to this, and then these other things. So now we have this. I think this is the our problem is going to be onto this, the theming, which I'm just going to, you can use the automate upgrade tool provided by Tailwind. I will have also to fix that into I need to fix that into the this, because the Tailwind, we could just like check one project that is using maybe Tailwind v4, and okay, let's first see what's happening on our website first of all. Okay, it is entirely off. Did I switch? I stopped everything. Okay, let me restart. Okay, so let me just go ahead and find out the get one project with v4. Actually, this very one, the one that educate, I'm very sure this one might be using Tailwind v4. Okay, I in one things I didn't expect was to be stopped by Tailwind, for sure. But for any errors, you need to simply fix them. So global CSS, okay, Tailwind. So it seems you can still use root. So that is that okay? But then we have this thing of theme. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and get this. I'm just going to go ahead and get this. May especially this up to somewhere, maybe here, the stop part here, because I'm very sure we still have. Oh, okay, everything looks good except that we have some issues with our styles, right? But otherwise, the everything is looking, wow, everything is actually now working. There is something very small we need to fix, and I think it has to do something with this. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this from here. I'm just going to get this up to here. Okay, so I'm just going to go to, now the question is, where do you get this part in here, like this one? One way you could get this from a new Next.js project, or what I'm just going to do is I can just go to my GitHub, okay, and create for you a new gist. So I'm just going to go to gists, and I'm just going to add new gist. So I just go ahead and create a gist, and just going to say Tailwind CSS. Okay, this is going to be the name of the file. Maybe say global.css. Now what I would do is I would add a final file so that you don't have to go ahead and copy everything right now. So how do I add this into our very confused state right now? Because we have even shard C and Tailwind CSS. That sounds really not good. I'm just going to simply go ahead to where we have this up to up here. I'm just going to replace it. I have no idea of what I've done, but just like that, I've replaced, and we only have Tailwind here. Now with that change, let's first go ahead and look at what we have disorganized on our website before I actually, Jesus Christ, almost everything is gone. No. Let me just restart again. Maybe it's going to improve. Let me just restart and see. Again, we have some other things, some other errors, but importantly, the fonts right now, they're not working very well. But I think other sections, everything is okay. But let me just first actually leave this like this. We might just like simply, yeah. Instead of just like first doing everything, let me first leave it that way. Okay. I'm just going to first leave it this way, and then we do other things later, because this might take us more time than I expected. And so I'm not creating a gist. I'm not doing anything. I'm just like first leaving it that way. We're just going to fix this one in maybe the next thing, like in the future. Let me just close also the educate, and we remain with our app. So far, if you just like go down here, we have compiled successfully. That's what we want right now. Okay, so that was a lot. But all these things, we're going to customize them with our own data. So that one we're just going to use, of course, AI to do that. Okay, and it will also fix some of these small things of what's going on, why everything not working very well. But I just know also it's because in the components, we don't have any shared CN component right now. Okay, I'm not going to mind about that right now. At least we have some pages. If you just visit them, these pages are working. We have the pricing page, we have the developers page. Okay, we have the we don't need this shop page. Okay, right now this is the 404 because this is not there. The API docs, okay, even this one is not there, so we don't need these ones. But we have the home page. We're going to change everything to simply use this. Okay, so let me just go and do what? Okay, so we have that installed. So the next thing is here, we have added everything. So is to go ahead and set up Prisma Postgres. Okay, we need to go ahead and set up Prisma Postgres. So this is not going to be hard. We just simply need to follow the guide in here the way it is. Just going to go and do this. So go to the terminal. I'm just going to go ahead and clear this terminal. And let's go ahead and install this. Why are we using npm? Let me first stop this. Why are we using npm somewhere? I'm saying like we have npm and then npm. Let me just first do this. npm add. Let me start with this one. So this add is Prisma, TSX, and the types with this Postgres. Then I'm just going to add the second one. And let's go ahead and add this. So I'm just going to add pnpm here. And let me also just come here and say add. So here we just add the Prisma client and the Prisma adapter that we're just going to use. Then the next is to go ahead and actually initialize the Postgres. Now, one thing you need to understand in this initialize is that this --db is if you want to get the Postgres database from Prisma, you actually use this --db. But if you're going to use the Neon, like in our case, you're going to use the Neon. Let me just go ahead and open a new. So we're just going to use the Neon for giving us a simple database. In the future, of course, I will not use it, but right now we're just going to use it to get a database. So to be able to do this. I'm just going to copy this command and I will just like simply change it. So just go ahead and do this. Remove this DB thing like this, and let's go ahead and initialize. So this is going to go ahead and initialize actually the Postgres 7, Prisma version 7. Okay, it's going to go ahead and create some files, and then we just go ahead and move on. So as it is creating this, I'm also just creating a new database here very easily. A new project. I'm just going to call this one food recipe API. Just going to add throw this in Frankfurt, create, and we're just going to go ahead and get our details and add them into our app. Okay, so just like I'm just going to go back. So if you just see here, it has created a lot of things. And one thing it has created is, if you just go here, you will see somewhere in our app, we have this Prisma folder now. Okay, we have this Prisma folder. It has also added the .env file, which you are going to find it has added this local Postgres. So I'm just going to go ahead and replace everything in here with this database URL that you got from Neon. So let me just go ahead and close everything right now, and we move on with our app. So right now, what we just need to set up more few files. So after doing this, we have added database. So we just need to go ahead and in the Prisma, I'm very sure in the Prisma file right now, if you just go to Prisma schema, everything is set the right way. So if you see Prisma client, then app generated. So we don't need to change anything in there. And then the next file we just need to do is this Prisma config.ts. So I also believe it might have done the Prisma config.ts. So you can see Prisma config.ts, and it has set up everything for ourselves. The only thing we're just going to do is going to be the seed file, adding this seed. So you can just say copy this, and they just add this line below the path. They just say add this seed, and you can remove the backticks and simply add this like this. And then the next thing is okay, the next thing is we can migrate after adding our schemas or our tables. We'll go ahead and migrate and do everything. So there's one more file, which is this prisma.ts file. That one they don't actually create it for you. You have to create it yourself. So inside this, we're going to create this inside the lib, prisma.ts inside the lib. Just going to go ahead and create this file, which is prisma.ts file, like this. So never mind about this one. It is going to work after we have run the generated, after generating something. Right now, don't mind about it. Then the next thing is to make sure that you add this post install script. This is what people normally forget when they are deploying. They get a lot of issues. So right away, let's add this post install script. You don't need to add this Prisma seed. You don't need to add this now. In Prisma 7, this is not necessary. Okay. So what we need to do right now, yeah, I think that's the only thing that we need to go ahead and do. So another thing we just want to add in our app is going to be authentication. Okay, just want to add authentication. We talked about the 3 parts, or the parts we need in here. We need a lot of parts. So part of the API, we need the marketing pages is what we did. So we need to set up like marketing pages, and then we need the API. We need the auth. Then we need to protect the protecting the API, protect API. We need also API docs. So we need like these things you see here. So we worked on the marketing pages. They still lack, but at least we have some pages we can look at. Now we can add authentication where users can now create accounts and so on. Okay. So on the authentication, going back here, we simply just need to install this component and see what it's going to add for us. So just going to go ahead and add this. Just going to go ahead and add that and see. I'm just going to go ahead and close everything in here. And let's create more space for this component. Let's see if it is going to ask us some questions. Okay, so it is saying that the file prisma.ts already exists. Do you want to replace this? So since this prisma.ts is talking about is this file inside the lib. Okay, so it is the same thing whether you replace it or not. It is the same file, so I'm just going to say no. And it says the file schema Prisma already exists. Would you like to overwrite it? Now this one we want to overwrite it because it is going to add us tables. If right now see that we don't have any tables, and authentication is going to create us a lot of tables. So I'm just going to say yes. For that one, we just want to replace it. And you can see it has replaced it. It says also the file Prisma config already exists. Would you want to overwrite it? No, no. So that one is going to skip it. The file layout dot already exists. Would you like to overwrite it? Now for this, we have the mixed reactions, okay? Because we don't want to also replace these other layouts. You just look at this layout. This layout is also missing some things, okay? This layout is missing some things that needed to be added. But now if we replace it, that would be bad, right? Oh. I don't know what happened. After leaving it, it stopped. Let's go ahead and reinstall it. For the layout, I'm just going to simply create a duplicate file that we're just going to replace it, and then we need to go ahead and see how to add what is missing. So Prisma file, no. Just go back here, no. Prisma config, no. Layout, so for layout, I'm just going to say yes. So we'll just go ahead and change it. So basically that's what it wanted to do. It has created all these files and says don't forget to bring in the tooltip provider component. So I can also just copy this tooltip provider thing. Let's go to the layout. Okay, so this is the new layout, remember, that replaces the other big layout. So basically what it added in was this rich thing only. Just going to go ahead and bring in this tooltip provider, just like that. So we just need to get these two here. I'm just going to copy them. Go to this layout, copy, scroll down, because this one has many things. Scroll down to where we have this main. Okay, where we have this main. You can just go inside here. Okay, inside where we have that, and then I paste this, and then copy everything. So I'm just going to copy everything and paste it in here, like so. And let's go ahead and bring in this, and also bring in this, and then I can now go ahead and delete this copy. Okay, just like that. Okay, nice. and clear. Let's start again. Let's just go ahead and start. Let me just go ahead and write simply pm dev. So this one was add to add. I don't know if it actually even worked, but it was so quick. Okay. Okay, so you can see we have this login. So I just want to go to this auth login like this. Okay, let's first see. Did it add actually those things? Yeah, you can see there is auth. So app auth sign in. It is sign in, not login. It is auth sign in. Okay, sign in. Okay, so we have some issues here. So if you just look at this, there is one problem. If you look at this, this is in the it is inside this change password. Okay, we can just go ahead and copy this change password file. Just going to say Control P, change password. So this file here, the change password, is the one which is having issues. And if you look at the issues, is this form component. And the reason why it has these issues, shardcn removed this component, by the way. This form component is no longer there. If you just go to shardcn, just going to go to shardcn, and if you just go ahead and search for form, you said they now give you these, the Turnstack form and the React Hook form. The form component is no longer there. Okay, there is no form component. You get, they take you to the form page, so there is no longer the form component. So what I did, I actually have these components. So if you just go back to this, you will see down somewhere where we have these components. So you don't need to mind. I had this, I'd seen this. So down somewhere, let me just go and search for where are these components. I don't know where they are, but just scroll somewhere, we need to see them. And I just go ahead and search for maybe form. Okay, what about JB components? Okay, so there is these ones. Here just search for JB component. So there is this here. Actually, they are just on top here. Before we started, there's why we have the tech stack we are using, blah blah, everything nice. There is this note, the database is new, blah blah. Then is this all the components and install these command in one place. So there is this gist. Okay, I want you to right click and open this gist. Now in this gist, you're going to find some of these the components here. So the first one is the button. So you can just simply go ahead and how do we copy this? You could just go ahead and do this. Copy everything for the button, Control C, and just simply go to components, where they go to the components, where we have components UI. Let's start with the button. I'm just going to replace the way they are. So we can start with the button. Just simply Control A, Control V. Replace that. And then the second one is the form. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Okay. Just going to go ahead and do this up down here. Control C. Now the form component doesn't exist right now. why are we having an error? Okay, we'll just install this from Radix, don't mind. But I'm just going to go ahead and create the form because the form component is not there right now. So just going to say form.tsx and then paste in this. So lastly, we're just going to install these things are missing. Lastly is going to be the input. So you can just also go ahead and do the input just like this. Okay, there is the input, so you can just go ahead and also replace the input. Now we can just look at the errors we have, stop the server, and let's install them. So this one, the first one is Radix. They just go ahead and say pnpm add, and just like add Radix. I'm just also going to go ahead and add this. Okay. I think that's the only thing, the Radix slot and this. So I'm just going to go down here and install these ones. Okay, so let's hope that they have been installed. Nice. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start the server one more time to see which errors do we actually have rendering this sign-in component. Nice. So you can see that the sign-in component is we're done. Like we have this component, we also create account, we have forgot password. All these pages are nicely put by just like putting that component. So sometimes you just simply need to get hold on fixing these things by yourself. By the way, read the error and find a way of how you can fix. Sometimes you are so close to fixing the error, but you just simply run away. Okay, so right now this is good. We have added in these components. One more thing you have to do is the environmental variables that needed to be added into here, which actually it went ahead and added them. So one thing that I will just remove is going to be GitHub. I don't necessarily want people to sign up with GitHub. I'm just going to leave this name and email, and then with this Google. Okay. There is also one bug that with Google which we just fix, but I will just go ahead and remove this GitHub. But right now, let's first leave it. Let's continue with this right now. So we have now also authentication added in. Let's see what next. Okay, so the next thing is actually building the API. Okay, so before building the API, we could just actually go ahead and first module our API, how it is going to look, because we are building the local recipes API. I just want to go ahead and build this, first understand which endpoints do I need, because if you just look in here, there is this thing here. You need to know your niche and then research to get the endpoints you need. You need to first understand what data am I going to be providing, where am I going to get this data, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we need to do that. So what I'm just going to do is for this we're going to use DeepSeek. Most people just always telling me use Cloud Code, and we don't have Cloud Code subscription. We are going to use DeepSeek for any of the research. We'll use Cloud Code just little to customize the whole page, but I just want to use DeepSeek. Now, the last time I used it was actually using it to create this university API thing. I used it in here extensively. Okay, so this was my first thing, like when I was like doing this. Okay, you can see I was saying that here I'm starting the API business in Uganda in the age of AI, where agents use API as their food. My first API, I'm building this. So I want to build and say this API. So you can see what I'm just like basically doing. So you can see I'm telling here API blah blah. As a business analyst, product designer, blah blah, come up with the API design of what endpoints are needed, and the description would be most blah blah, like that. Okay, so it researched and came up with this whole thing, right? So I always want to come up with the documentation first. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. You can pause and look at this. I will just use this template I used here. Okay, just like this. And I'm just going to simply open another DeepSeek on their side, and let's paste this. So right now I'm starting the API business in Uganda in the age of API blah blah, my first API. So just going to say I am building is the food local recipe API. So let me just go up here at the beginning. So at the beginning here, there is where I have this, I'm building this. Okay, I'm building that. So I'm building the food, just building the food, local food recipe API. And you're just going to go ahead and paste this here. Okay, so I'm going to say this. So basically, what I'm just going to remove this part. So just going to say as a business analyst. Okay. Business analyst, product designer, and say senior developer. Come up with the API design of the what endpoints are needed, and the descriptions would be more useful to the public that can help integrations, and also each endpoint give the use cases and the feed that can be returned from this endpoint, and also help me how I can monetize this, how many should be free requests, and all that. So so you say I need the endpoints to return more data. So for each endpoint, see which data we could add. Now there is a niche most okay, now this one is not necessary. I need to add even institutions, so even this is not necessary. Okay, just like this. I'm just going to go ahead and research this. So you just go ahead and pause the video and just like get the prompt how I'm just like writing it, and you write it. Now replace your niche. For you might not be building the local recipe API. If you're watching this and you're in Uganda, you might just not need to write again the food recipe API. For you just come up, as I added here so many, come up with things. For example, this local market prices API. This is a good one. Okay. And if someone doesn't build it, please, when you build the API to be good, you go to the comment section and comment your API. If you have used this video to create an API, let's say using it to create an API, go in the comment section and put the link to your API so that people can see it, and also like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and also share this video with others so that they can learn with us. Okay, so what did we do? Oh, okay, so just like added this prompt in here. Okay, so it says Africa's largest local food business. Now I just want this actually to be only for Uganda. Total results page, then this, then pronunciation. It has even the pronunciation audio for this, like Luombo, how it is pronounced. Yes, that is like too much. I'm just going to say that I want this API to only cover Uganda. Okay, so it should be niched to only Uganda. Okay, it should be niched to only Uganda. So now rewrite everything. Okay, just going to be only for Uganda. No, I don't want just like Kenya, Nairobi, or anything. I simply want everything to be for Uganda. And for the API authentication, we're going to look at that. We don't want it to be only X API key. We're just going to use also the bearer token, so that you guys can see how we use a bearer token. Endpoint, search, discovery, search and discovery. This is of course the big one where person can search. District, tribe, mail type, deity, the prep time. Like this is really much data. So if you just look at this, it has like this name, local names, emereyo, eyo, olumu, echunsa, runyankole, really, steamed groundnut stew. So these are like the these other local names, really. Then like we have pronunciation, then we have tribe, origin, region origin, district, the description of the food, the culture context, and cultural significant score, and then we have media thumbnail, hero image, the video tutorial, and Jesus, like this is too much. Then the steps image, then ingredients. Then we have the ingredients. Then we have the groundnuts. Then we have the banana leaves. All these things are in this. Then in the nutrition part of it. So like this is a very detailed. This is very detailed. I don't know if we need all this. Then there's variations: fish luombo, beef luombo, vegetarian luombo, loyal luombo, and pairings. We have even pairings. Like if I created this is so good. Okay. This is so good. So I'm just going to go ahead. This is okay. Then we have the recipe detailed page. And then we have, the use cases. Oh, this is the response from the search. Okay, so what I'm just going to do, it is still actually still writing, like it is still writing. Okay, so my target is to get like at least 100 or like list of 200 local foods in Uganda. So my list would be like getting like a list of 200 at least. Okay, to compile, I want it to go online and compile a list of local foods, at least like 200 or 150 something, combine them and create something like that. Okay. Okay, so for this one, it tries, it just gives like luombo lwa nyama, muchomo. Okay, so here it tries actually just to list the 200, which I will basically actually just go ahead and give a hint of this when I'm just like searching the data, because we're just going to reach on that part of the data making research. Okay, so I don't know if this is it has finished. So basically I think it has finished. Now what I just want is an MDX document. Okay, so I want this information okay, no, this is not the one I want. Okay, so it has finished and everything is in here. So basically what I want is I want to get all this information and compose it using Cloud Code into one document. Okay, so I will open Cloud Code. I don't want to use my token, so I'm just going to get the Cloud Code that is for free. The Cloud Web is free, right? So just go to the Cloud Web. I'm just going to go ahead and copy everything the way it is from here. Okay, so I'm just going to do this. This is a very huge document, by the way. I don't know if a Cloud Web will manage to pack this into an MDX document. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and just do this. Copy. And I'm just going to go to Cloud Web. So I'm just going to tell you that just paste this. I'm just going to say I am building. Just going to say I am building a local food recipe API for Ugandan devs, maybe to use in their apps and AI automation and integration. Okay, using the attached data, create for me an MD file for this API design. Okay, I think that is enough. Create MD file for this API design. I'm just going to leave it at this and see what it's going to do. So just basically I want it to go ahead and compile all this. Now, as it is doing this, we can also go ahead and do some data scraping. Okay, so we have seen like you can just like start with any list of things you want. Like for example, I want, for example, a list of 200 local foods in Uganda, right? I don't know if I have, like, for example, my Rolex. I don't know. Whichever. So I'm just going to go ahead and say to this, I'm just going to close this one. So this one is going to be used for reference. After getting this one, I used it to do other things, like getting the actual data, use cases, and other things. So what I'm just going to do is go on this, ready to start. I can generate your open API spec, sample code, or extract database schema for week 1. So now, what we need is, first of all, we need to get the database schema for this API. That is one thing. So I want you to design me the Prisma database schema for this API. So this is the first thing that we want to do. Now, don't want to confuse it the same thing with this Open API spec. We tell it to generate the Open API spec at some point, but just start with the schema only. So let's just like go ahead and design this whole other thing the way it sees it, because at the same time it's going to generate for us the data Okay, it will just like go ahead and compile for us the data. So you can see, for example, we have the recipe itself, and inside the recipe, we have things like the tribe origin, region ID, then local names, then you have the media, we have ingredients, instructions, variations, pairing, storage, cost analysis, seasonality, recipe districts, and all this kind of stuff. So like this is already good. Okay, then we have the ingredient models, we have all these things which are really good. We already have right now, if you check in our Prisma schema, we have things to do with this. Now at the same time, I want us to fix one thing to do with the authentication. There is one thing that we need to fix moving forward before we move very far. So let me just go ahead and show you that one. So as this one is generating the schema, okay, this is generating a schema. Okay, so it went and did some things in here that we did not even want, but I'm just going to go ahead and add these ones. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and copy everything. So go down here. This is now the recipe API, just like this. And let's go ahead and add this. Okay, just go ahead and add this. So it has added all these things here. So just know all these are tables that you need. And right now you see that we don't have actually many errors. We have a few errors, which I'm very sure you can fix. For example, repeating this. So you can remove this. And also this. Okay. Just remove those. And let's see, here we also have an error from where? So there is where we have this. Feed origin is missing. Okay, so if you save, this is going to be fixed. We still have now more onto this. So we have market is already defined on a model ingredient price. Where is it? So that is why we have this market string. Something is not right. So before we just like add in, we have another one here onto this. I'm just going to some of these ones you see there are many to many relationships, so that is okay. I'm just going to add one more before we proceed. So if you just go down here on the APIs, there is where we're just going to talk about the API key for protecting the API. So down here, you can create everything like this. So there is one model we just need to add in here. And this model is going to be this one for API key. So we're just going to need API key. And this API key is to help us protect access to our API. So just going to add this model for API key. And the model for API usage, this is to tell us like, this person has used this API this many times. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Copy. And let's go ahead and add these ones. Now these ones I want to specifically add them above here. You're going to see why. Because now we need to add this relationship with user. You can see an API key has a user. Okay, that means in here, if you just save, it's going to Okay, it doesn't add. So just here, just have to add API keys, just like this. Okay, just add API keys so that one user, a user can have many API keys, just like this. That's the only thing you just need to add. Now, these other errors we have, we're just going to tell AI to go ahead and fix them. Okay, we can just like fix them with AI. Basically, they are instead of just like copying this and pasting it up, I'm just going to simply use AI just here a little bit. So I'm just going to go look into, just going to add Prisma schema.prisma and fix some errors. So there is, I'm just going to give it a hint where these errors are. So there is an error on line 309, 309. Then another one is on 501. What errors? I think like the two errors we have so far. So you can just go ahead and just look into that and try to fix that. That's not a big deal. Okay, so there is one more thing to add in actually, but we can just like add in that one after seeing that error. For now, we just have that. So with that being done, meanwhile, on this side, we have, I think, our file being done. Yeah, so our file is here, Uganda Food API design. We have everything we want. It has designed everything for us. Okay, it has designed everything for us. This is good. So I'm just going to go ahead and download this file. Get this file, just going to cut it, throw it in our app. So I'm just going to add it in the root here, just like this. So we're going to use this one to reference, document, and everything is going to be based on this. Okay, so that's a good thing. So what else should this one be doing? So there is two things this can be doing right now. It can find for us data. It can be just going ahead and be compiling data and place it in different JSON files. Okay, so that when we build, it goes ahead and does this. So just like actually do that as we are doing the rest of other things. It is researching some data to start with. So the whole concept of building the AI is based on the data. Okay, is based that you have a database of the food recipes that is going to take someone to go ahead and research and use it in his own app. So we take an extra step of researching, get the data, put in the DB, create a very nice interface for accessing this data, and we set it. As simple as that. So what it means is that we can't just simply go to the way we have this list of things. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead. I don't want, because these ones, they don't look like meals. They look like roasted sweet potatoes. Is that like a meal? I don't know. So I'm just going to give this one to go ahead and it goes online. So I'm just going to say that I want you to do a deep research. Okay, I need you to do a deep research and create for me the do a deep research to, how do they call it, to scrape, scrape and prepare the full data for this API. Okay, So so I want at least more than 200 plus recipes, right? Recipes, okay, and I want you to prepare, okay, to prepare JSON files for this data. So JSON files for this data. So instead of placing it in one file, so I want you to prepare JSON files for this data. Okay. So that I will simply seed these JSON files. I will simply seed these JSON files into my DB. Okay. Try to do a deep research and get me all that data, cleaning, and prepare it for seeding. Prepare it in JSON files ready to be seeded. Okay, and just going now, this here where I think all the in deep thinking. I think it is going to go ahead. These two are all of them doing this. I just want it to go ahead and see how it's going to create this, because at the end of the day, it's going to create the schema, and so when it's creating this, is going to be really good. So I just want it to go ahead and start the research. So meanwhile, for us on the other side, I think this has been fixed. That's the thing we just want. So I'm just going to go ahead and push this data into our database. So if you remember, we added the database URL and everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and seed this data. Push the schema, or push all these tables into our database. So I'm just going to simply fast cross some of these things. So I'm just going to go here and I say npx. I'm just going to say npx prisma migrate dev -- name init. Npx prisma migrate dev name init. And in this, we can just give it, yeah, I've already given it a name, like init. So this should just go ahead and push all these our database. Okay, it should just go ahead and push this our database, all the tables we have. I don't know how many tables right now we have, but we have pretty big design. So you can see we have so far right now 600 plus, like about 670 lines. So those are like really good. So the migrations have done. Oh, it has migrated. Okay, something has happened. Vector does not exist. Create. We have even recipe embeddings. No. Which table is that? Recipe embeddings. Let me just search for this. And you know, we have like also recipe embeddings. What? So we have even like the PG vector, AI embeddings, ID recipe embedding, where we are doing unsupported. No, so we could just actually remove this. I don't think we need the embedding. That's like taking it too far. For sure, that's like taking it too far. I'm just going to say maybe we could just do this and ask AI what to do here. So yeah, depending on the thing you are doing, you can just, we don't need to do embedding. What it means, it means is just want to store these the embeddings, and for that we don't want to get into problems of that. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove this. I'm just going to say I'm getting errors after trying to migrate my schema. So just add this. You could actually remove the embeddings model if it's not supported. So like the vector embeddings, you have to install the PG vector, like you have to install some other packages, which I'm not willing to do right now. So it's saying I'm going to remove this. So you can see it has just simply removed that this embeddings and its back relationship. So we don't need this. And unfortunately, this might come into our, so remove this. Okay, it has also removed that. So we can just now go ahead and run again this in it. Now, unfortunately, in our data, what? You can't tell me that it has already. Okay, it is saying that, let's see here, the user in its response is saying they provided such result offer a solid foundation, but they don't include the complete structured data for over 200 as requested. Building such a data set is sensitizing blah blah for multiple sources, blah blah. So instead of returning incomplete data, the most efficient path forward is for me to generate complete production ready JSON files programmatically. As a senior developer, you can use Python, script scrape, process, blah blah. So to do so, I will need to grant me Python. With it, I can write and blah blah. So should I proceed? Yeah, I'm just going to say proceed, sir. Just go ahead and use whatever you need to give me all that data. Okay, proceed. Yeah, so just go ahead, use Python, use everything you want. I simply just want to see my data. So it is saying that it's going to give us actually 250 plus recipes. That's nice. Again, wait. I thought we removed the embeddings. Create table recipe. I thought this table recipe embeddings now is no longer there. Do we still have anything to do with embeddings? We don't have anything to do with embeddings. So no, why in a world are we still having this error? Let me clear this. Maybe let's look at the migrations. Maybe we just remove this. I'm just going to first actually delete this migrations. Migrate name. I'm just going to call this something else now. The complete DB, just like this. Any other name? Why are we still getting the same error when we don't have the embeddings? Oh, maybe it actually had migrated. We might just need to go ahead and reverse reset. Yeah. So I think it just needs to reset. As you can see, so you can just first run this npx Prisma migrate reset, just like this. So I'm just going to say yes because we don't have any data there. So this is going to remove everything. So now we can just go ahead and do this. So there is no any migration. So just going to go ahead and do this. So come on, applying the migrations. Okay, so it has migrated everything. All the tables have been migrated. I'm just going to go ahead and say npx prisma generate. Okay, for this. So the errors we had in the prisma, they are going to all be gone. So for example, we had errors in our lib. This like lib prisma, so this is going to be gone now. Wait, they generated. Oh, okay. So now we just need to change this. If you go to our prisma, you can see that the generated is from lib. So we could just leave it in lib because everything is governed from in here. Okay, so we could just go ahead and leave it in lib /lib and we change here. Where is it? So we could just go ahead and change in here. Instead of this app, we just simply say lib, just like that. Yeah. So you can just like change only this point here instead of changing so many places. We still have some other errors. We just like fix those ones, but so far this is good. Okay. So far this is good. Okay. Remember we haven't created actually the API, but we do. So we have our data and everything. What we need to do is go ahead and start like try to build something like the API and see how everything is going to roll up together. So what I need basically, we have already added authentication. So there is part 3 of building the CRUD API. How do we build the API? So the building of API itself is very easy. First of all, we're going for the structure API, then we have v1, then like recipes, and then we add all these things here, the structure of everything that we need. Now I don't know if in this file we actually has the structure of the API we want, of how this is supposed to be structured. We just also go ahead and get that from that structure. We'll just get it from there. But basically, how you create an API is easy. Actually to demonstrate the API, you can see already there is this. There is one package that we need to add for that demonstration. Let me just go back here. So down here there is where we need to add API docs, which I think they're down here. Okay. Protecting your API endpoints. So this is going to be okay. Protecting this. We have some files in here. Yeah, so we're just going to first go this the API documentation is going to help us actually add some sample API for me to show instead of just like going ahead and write everything. So this beautiful API documentation, and API without good documentation is a product nobody can use. So we need something like you saw it on the Yuga, this Yuga Gate, Edugate. If you go to API reference, this is the documentation I'm talking about. Okay, this is the documentation I'm talking about, and this is why we need the documentation to explain our API very well like this. You're not going to be there to explain to every developer, so this documentation explains a standard way of explaining to every developer. Add this. So basically, if I just come here and I'm just going to go ahead and install this. So let's go down here and install this just like that. So this is going to create some components and other things. Add for us the files we need to add the documentation, because this would take you time to configure this. It would take you time to go ahead and configure this, but now with this, you simply just, the only thing you're going to do is going to customize this, which will also give to our AI to customize this for us, so you don't have to worry about that. So they just like wait for it to finish. I don't know this side. Wait, the 250, where are they? Remaining 248. Are you serious? It created only 2, and no, this is not good. Oh, I think it created. Let me first download and I see. No, this is only 2, guys. I think this is only 2. Let me just open and see. Are you serious? No. I don't want this. I just want the full data. Let's first see here. 3 ingredients, 4 recipe ingredients, 5 and 7, file 8, file 9, file 10, file 11. Now seeding scripts. I didn't ask for this. So it is saying here, this is to scrape and generate. Let's first see. Add. I just wanted to do this work for me. Like right now, it is involving me. It's saying for immediate, I have already created the compute data set offline. If you grant Python execute, I will run the, like, where, please advise which method you prefer. Which method is now? To save time, I can provide the compute generated dataset by writing a Python script that runs once. Since I cannot execute code here, I will instead paste the full JSON for tutorial in multiple follow-up messages. Please make know if you want me to do this. Yes, please do this. Okay, there's no anything else I want. Okay, just go ahead and put it, please do this. Okay, give me all the data. I don't know why it's just doing the shortcuts. I don't know why it is doing the shortcuts. Okay, so basically we added this. Yeah, so the scadocs added 10 files. As you can see, it created this the Open API standard document. This is the Open spec document. If you just go in here, you see now there's data, there is dummy data, and the Open API. This is the most important file for creating those docs. And we request after it has created for us data, it will have to go ahead and create for us this. Okay, it will have to go ahead and create for us this. But right now, if you just now go to docs, they must be working. Let me go ahead and start. I'm just going to say pnpm dev, pnpm dev. And if you, let me just go to, I think you just need to open this route for, let me just go to the educate. So you see here this API docs. So similarly here, just going to go ahead and go to this slash, just going to go to slash API docs like this. So you can see it has already added this API docs. You can test and see that we actually get the actual data in here. So everything is right now working. Okay, get this, you can see, get the, okay, we need to pass, I think, the product ID 1. Okay. So you can see this is working super well. Categories, then users and everything. So this has been already integrated in very well. So what we need to do is simply connect to our own API. But let's see, actually use it to learn some API. So in the API folder, if you're going to create an API, in the API folder, you create the folder, for example, categories. And then in the categories, you can just go ahead and add this route. And this is basically how you create by export async function get, and then you return the data you want to return. So you can see we have the data, which is categories from dummy data and the total. So this is how simply you can create an API route. This is the most easiest way to create API. The same thing with products you can see here. Now for one single ID, go ahead and get the params, extract the params, and then you find that product and then return it here. Okay, so for example, if we just went and added a non-existing ID, let's just say go here, so you can just say go ahead and add. I just want to add something like, okay, yes. I can't choose the, let me see. I just want to add the another ID, add a value. So you just go ahead and put like 200. So you just like put 200 and request for this, you just go ahead and get this product not found. Like this product is not existing for or for. And that's the purpose of the documentation. It tells you when you're getting this product by ID, you can get the data, or you can actually get 404 with this message resource not found. And that's what we got. So it gives you how to use the API really nicely. The developers will love this. So this is good. So the only thing is now to actually add and create our own API. Okay, so it seems it is done. So it seems it is done. I don't know what basically how it has done this. Full list file 2. So this is the first thing it did, and it gave us also the Python. So I told it here I want all the data. So it says run this script once on your local machine. It will output 12 JSON files ready for seeding. Really? Okay. So let me see if I can save this script and see if it can actually go ahead and do this. So it says run this script once on your machine. It will output 12 JSON files ready for seeding. Just going to name it this. Okay. So let me just go to this. Let's create a new folder, quit scripts. Okay, inside the scripts, I'm just going to create a new script .py. So this is a Python script. Let me copy everything, paste it in this script. So I just want to know how we're going to run this. Do I run like the let's go down here. Maybe this is how we should run it. Just cd into that folder and just run. So how to run this save? Then we just run Python this. So I'm just going to copy this. So let me just go into here. Just going to say cd into scripts like this. And let's go ahead and paste this. Python generate, because this is the name we gave it. Trace file generated file with let's first see here. I don't know where is it supposed to actually generate. We can just like we could just like run it, or you could just even tell AI to run it. Find the JSON in the same directory. So when we run this, we get some errors. Let's first see the type of errors are we getting. We could actually just also just use here. Okay, cd into the scripts. Okay, we just errors. You can see we have this generate py. So the step is saying run Python, then run this. They basically try to run the file. So Python, and then let's put this. Okay, just like this. Oh, so this one actually worked from here. Okay, this worked. Okay, what I just want is actually to look at the recipes. Okay, I just want to tell the recipes. I want to see if we have 250. Jesus, like actually we have generic dish 183. I just need to know that these food, these recipes are there. Why is it calling them generic food? You don't know why it is calling them generic food. Just like look for one thing here. So the name here is calling them generic dish. The traditional generic dish to from Central, a daily dish enjoyed by Bagana people. Culture. This dish has been prepared during weddings and no. This is not good because it is calling them generic dishes. This is not like really researched. I don't know why it is getting this. I don't know how it is getting this this data. But what I'm just going to do basically, I'm just going to use Claude to refresh. So I don't know, but basically what you need is to get some of these recipes in any way you could. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell Claude that I generated the data I don't trust, that it should just go ahead and clean this data and make it usable, more especially the one for recipes. Now this is a very huge file. I don't know what it's going to do, but basically I'm just going to leave that to it. So I'm just going to say that I have scraped some data using Python. Okay. You can see, you can check this data in the root folder called scripts. Okay, and it has a lot of files. Okay, but the data generated seems to be generic and not typical to Uganda. Okay, most especially the like, for example, the recipe. So you can just say there are recipes JSON. So I want you to go through clean and populate actual data that users that we can use to sell as API. This data will later be seeded in the DB. Okay, to be seeded in the DB. Yeah. So let's just like leave this to it and see what it's going to do. So as it is doing this, what I just want to tell it right now is that I want you to give me the folder. So I'm just going to say I am building the API using Next.js 16 API routes, and I will also add versioning. So I'm going to give the folder structure for the entire API. So I just wanted to give me the folder structure. Just say here recipes, trending, and all this. So and other Next.js pages, or like Vita and all this. So yeah. So basically these are the ones want to create. Middleware types, utils. So other things we don't care about them. So you can see the scripts even added it here. Just recurring some of these. What we want is the these ones. Okay. What we need, I don't know if it has like the. Okay, so it says I went through the scripts for the issues are extensive. Let me lay out what I found before doing the work. So what's broken in the current data? Generate this produces synthetic noise, not data. I like the way it broke down. It says like it produces synthetic noise, not data. Generic names, duplicates, templated description, local this, like everything is typically fake. Oh my god. So it's like rather than salvaging the random generator, I would write it with a hand-created authentic data set of 60 well-known Ugandese, Ruwambo, Matoke, Rolex, Katogo, Posho, Marakwang, Eshawe, Mchomo, this. Yes, I think that this is good. So like the other one didn't even really help us, because it gave us like really a bunch of like non-real data instead of just like researching online. So but in this other one, it actually gave me, in the other research I showed you, it actually did give me the actual files. I think here I gave it more work of 200, and things were so many for it, and it couldn't actually do that. So it's a trade-off. 60 are authentic recipes, 250 are fake ones. For an API you are setting depth breadth, buyers will reject the moment they export generic dish to this. You can always add more dishes later by extending the curated list. Yeah, so I'm just going to say, okay, you go ahead and get at least, maybe they just extend it to 80. I don't know if it will get annoyed but with that, but I just extend it to 80 actual data that we can actually say. Okay, so that's good. Meanwhile, this side we have gotten the folder structure of the APIs we need. So I'm just going to first of all go back here, be creating some things also. So inside the API, I just want you to create v1 like this, v1. So inside the v1, I'm just going to create a new file. So just see like recipes route.ts. So I'm just going to create that. Just going to say here, create a new file. I'm just going to create here recipes. Inside the v1, I'll create recipes, as if I just know the spelling of recipes. Recipes slash route.ts. So like this. Okay. So then this is going to be it. It will be using the database and everything. So we could just go ahead and say, okay, can you actually write the code for all endpoints so that I can paste it in those files. Okay, so this side we have some issues. Okay, so this is just like doing some work. It's just like going to be going here. So Prisma client, so we have this. Then it has the utility for response. So it is going to, okay, this is the Zod. Pages, limit total pages, and then we have the success. So okay, this is good for making sure that our data is consistent. So basically what we're going to do is I'm just going to give it some things. Because it is a bit going to complicate more than it should be. Okay. Okay, so this is okay. Like first creating the service, then you come and use this in the API. So then if you're just going to go in the so it has, like, for example, meal plan, then down here get the ingredients and everything. We don't know also the shape of the data that this is going to come up with. Okay, design master ingredient catalog with correct categories, scientific names, and compare GX prices. So we don't know what this is going to come up. I don't know if it's going to come up with the same structure or a different structure altogether. But we could just go here and we could just go here in the documentation and be following this one for now. Up here where we have this, because there is where we need to create and protect the API. Let me show you. So as we said, creating the API itself is not that hard. So for example, getting all recipes, you can just do this. So we could validate the API key like this. Come here and check this validate endpoint, or there is an easy way of creating that by wrapping this. Let me just, while we have protecting your endpoint with the with API key pattern, quick start. Okay, so the first of all, we just need to go ahead and in the lib and create this thing of API key. So I'm just going to go ahead and create this in lib API keys, API key in the lib. I will just go down in the lib here. Let's go ahead and call this API key.ts. So the purpose of this is for validating. Just if you look at this, this is for validation purposes. It gets the, so these two are the ones you're going to be using, either the authorization bearer API key or the X API key like this. Okay. So this validation, we're just going to use it to validate all the endpoints. Then next, the second file is also in the lib with API key, the wrapper with API key. So I'm just going to, in the lib, let's copy this. Still in the lib. I'm just going to create another file which is with API key.ts. Let's add this. So if you look at this, basically what it is doing, it is extending the route handler, and the route handler they are talking about is the get, this get and post. So in here in the API, like here, so we could just select create export async function get, just like this. Okay, and we can just say return next response. Okay, you can just first get this .json. Okay, and then you could just say, first of all, just go and say const, for example, data is equal to, and then have like an array of where we have like ID name like this. Okay, so I have this, then I just go ahead and return data. Okay, just go ahead and return data. So this is an API endpoint. If we just go to the browser, we can basically access that. So if I just go to API v1, and then you go to recipes. Okay, so you can see that you access this data, right? We have this data that we have. So this is just like the basic way of creating an API. Like you have the data you want to return. Basically, this can be coming from database, and then you just go ahead and return this. Now, this extend thing that we have done here is extending this this function. So because as you can see that this is a function, the get is actually a function. So we could extend this function, and we do checking by doing this thing in the lib we have done here. This with API key. It extends this, and now we can validate. If there is no API key, then we don't actually validate that. So to do that, if we continue with the documentation, there is another file 3 of how to use this basically. So you can just go ahead and copy this. Okay, copy this, and let's go back to the recipes, and now let me remove everything and use this one. First of all, I'm just going to go here and let me first go ahead, and I can just say recipes, okay, is equal to let's just still give our array, yeah, this one. This time here, I'm just going to map or do anything. I'm just going to do this, and I'm just going to go here. Maybe I just say recipes, and then I say recipe, just like this. Since it is, we can just like do this. Okay, we return a JSON. So if we just go back this time to again access the data the way we did, like this. So you can see right now they're asking us that this is unauthorized, missing or invalid API key. Please pass it like this, or X API key like this. So we can just test this. Okay. From this, we're just going to create a new, can I rename this? I will just rename, okay, so this is, let me just create another one. I'm just going to create a collection. I'm just going to call it food recipe API, and let's add our first request, which is going to be this. Okay, it's going to be this. You can install this. This is called HTTP. If it's your first time to see it, you can just go ahead and search on the internet HTTP download, and then you use it. You can also use the Postman. I now use this one, but you can also install Postman or Insomnia. So if we just go ahead and try this again, we have the same problem. But you see that we have, for example, auth, and we can't just say you have here, you can see we have the API key, and we have also this bear token, and we can just go ahead and now pass in any token. So let me generate any one token here for testing purposes. So I'm just going to say open SSL rand. I'm just going to use hex hex that will just like this. This will generate for me a random, just like this. Copy this. Let's go ahead and add this key in here, and let's now make a request. Okay, so we still have the same. Let's first see the check, some other checks. So if we just go in this, you can see it has this with API key. So in with API key, what does it check? First of all, it first checks the validity, and the validity and API key, they all come from this valid API key. So then this API key, what it's going to do is it actually checks in the DB to check if this API key is in there. Okay, so it basically checks if you have the API key, if it is valid. I guess we could just like first go to the DB, create this API key. So let me just say npx prisma studio. Okay. What is like npx prisma studio? Oh, I think we're in a different place. CD, we're supposed to be in this here. Okay, start the studio. Okay, so I just want to look for one table, which is API keys, and let's go ahead and insert a row. So you can see default. So the key itself, I think. So I'm just going to, can I paste in this? And then the name, I'm just going to give it a name of test. I think it needs also use ID. You know, I just like put like 1. I'm not sure if that is going to work, but I just like go ahead and save this. Yep. So it actually failed, I think, because of the user ID. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and put this, but you get the concept that the API key, if you generate any random one and add it, still they will go ahead and validate it because we are checking this in the DB. Okay, we are checking it in the DB in that case. So what I'm just going to do, I will have to first go ahead and actually add in a real one. I don't know what's going on, like our thing here is very slow. I don't know if it's also using Python in one or the other to generate the data, but let's give it like some trust that it's going to do some work anyways. So what do I need to do? So let's leave this one. We have added actually the authentication. So all the API thing is going to follow this architecture. All these are here. All our APIs need to actually follow this this way. Okay, it has to follow this way of protecting. It has to go ahead and write all these ones. Okay, so which part can we be fixing right now? So right now what we could test is the authentication. Let's go ahead and be fixing authentication. So if I just go ahead and stop this and let's clear npm dev. Are we already having the server running? Yes, so you have already the server running in here. Let's go back to this. So let's try to put these together by first of all going to this create account. So like this auth sign up. Okay, like let's first make this work actually, like to see so that we can see the dashboard, and then we'll improve the rest of these things. So first of all, I need to remove this from the sign up, and then I just need also to get these Google accounts. Now for getting these Google, GitHub, and all these other environmental variables, it's always a big problem, and I added a new blog. I will eventually add a nice thing like the thumbnail, but for now there is this thumbnail. The developer's environmental variable cheat sheet, how to get every API key you will ever need. So it has different things on how to get to feed everything, like for example the beta authentication and these ones, how do you get them, like that. For these, like it gives you the steps. So you say neon is the default, and it gives you the steps like go to neon, click on your project, then do this. If you are using local Postgres, you can also do it this way. And then if you're using resend, it gives you the steps on how to get the resend. Then Google Auth, it gives you these. So like literally I've added for all API keys that you might actually need. Okay, because this has been a problem. Everyone keeps on asking me, how do I get this? How do I get that? How do I get this? How do I get that? So the documentation is here for actually getting every environment variable. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the environmental variables that I always use for local projects. I will add them. So just go ahead and populate for this case, we actually need few. We don't need many. We need only for authentication and database. That's it. There is no much environmental variables needed. So for example, you don't even need the GitHub thing. You don't need those ones. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead, pause the video, put mine, and then we'll proceed. Okay, so I've added all the variables I need. So right now, let's go ahead and try. We just go ahead and it has reloaded. So let's go ahead and try to sign up, more especially with sign up with Google. So you will see that we have one error that we need to actually fix. So if I click sign up with this, okay. So you can see signed in with Google successfully, but then we get this this unable to create user error. So this error can be resolved. We can just go, first of all, we can just go here and we see what this is all about. But if you just look at, we have this big token. So if you just go down here in the error logs, you can just say beta OS Prisma client validation error, invite DB model create. So it goes down here, it shows you what the problem is. And if you just look very closely, it gives you all the values that it is trying to create. So it is trying to create for this account, Google provider, and all these. So there is one thing that is not there. There's this access token. And if you look at the model, we just look at that model. By the access token, there is this ID token. Okay, there is this ID token. And if you look at the ID token, it is having this squiggly, these ones here, meaning that the ID token is actually not known. It is not there. So you say here, unknown argument ID token. So this ID token is not available in the database. So what we need to do is right now simply go to the schema, and in the schema we're just going to change where we have so we have the account. So here where we have this account, we have the access token, refresh token, as it mentioned them here, that all these other ones are there. So you can see that it says here that the options that are available are marked with question mark. So these other ones are actually there. You can see these other ones. They created at scope access token. So these ones are there. These account ID and all these other things. These ones. So we don't have ID here. So just going to go ahead and add this ID token string also like this. and I'm just going to create a migration for it. So let me just go ahead and create a migration. So I'm just going to do this. Just going to say npx prisma migrate, npx prisma migrate dev dash dash name. I'm just going to give it like added ID token, just like this. So this one should just go ahead and create add that key to the account, and now we should be able to again create the user with that. Just going to wait. So finally, the migration has happened. You can see added ID token. It has been created successfully. So now, if we actually start again, just going to go ahead and start again the server. Okay, and then we will create an account again. We just create an account again. First of all, let's go back to localhost 3000 slash auth. Just going to create this. So you can see signed in with Google successfully. Okay, unable to link account. So I think this is something to do with like the account was already created rather than because now so an unknown argument ID token. What are you talking about? Is this the unable to link accounts? Seems like even when the migration happened, still have some issues. Okay, so if you just like go to you could just go to like beta auth documentation, and you could search for the docs. You could go here and let's search for the I don't know, like for auth. Maybe we just I don't know where we can find that the migration tables. No, I think the one we just need is, for example, like Google. So I don't know. I wanted to see the tables. But yes, it doesn't seem like to have the tables. They only show you how to get these. Why are we having this problem when we already have the ID token on the account? Okay, so I'm also going to check for npx Prisma Studio, see if there is any data in the studio. So right now, so if you just go to let's go to user. Yeah, so the user is actually already created. I think that's what the problem is. So maybe we could just go ahead and delete this. Okay, so now let me just think that we don't have anything else. Let's try to sign up again. The server, we need to start the server. I'm just going to go I will go just to sign. We do need to sign up. Okay, yes, I got sign up. I'm just going to do sign up again and see if this time like it. Okay, we have the same question now. Unable to create user. Oh, we didn't generate. I guess we didn't generate npx Prisma generate. I think that's the problem. I believe so. And let's start again. Okay. Okay, so you can see now we go to the dashboard. The user was successfully created, and you can see even the details of this user are in here. Okay, so at least the account and the sign up was now successfully created. Okay, so what we need basically to do is either to create a different dashboard to have its own nav bar and everything, because you can see these ones just here, or we can just even leave it here. It depends on exactly what we want. We could just like specifically add the dashboard in its own layout. Okay, can just go ahead and add this in its own layout. Okay, so basically that is good. Okay, basically that is good. So we have also the data being all of it being generated. Okay, we have all the data being generated. So basically we have all this nice stuff. Recipe count 84. Okay, 84, those are really good ones to start with, and it has distributed them. Can see the recipes for Central Uganda, Western, Eastern, Northern. This was really good. So I think so it went ahead and generated for, you can see recipes central.py and all these things with all the scripts it created. So what I just want right now is, can we create actual API? So I'm just going to say that that because we have already done a lot of things with our API so far. So there are a few things that we have to put together. So far we have all the data. Okay, we have authentication working. So what we need basically are a few things to clean up dashboard put the data that we need, and that's going to be it. So I'm just going to write one prompt here that you can also write in your Claude code, and it goes ahead and we finish out this one, because the purpose is actually to create the whole entire API and how it works, and we test it out, and then we see how this is going to actually work out. So what we need right now is going to be, first of all, we just say, I want you to read. So we're going to make it like go through this Uganda food API design, Uganda food API design doc, and you will use this to customize the homepage and all other marketing pages. That's the first task. The second task is to go ahead and create the endpoints. So the good thing that this API doesn't have a lot of things. It has a few things. So we're just going to say that the endpoints for this API will be protected by API keys, okay, and all the endpoints will use this syntax, the word syntax. So I'm just going to copy this syntax of one route, just like this. This syntax, maybe just let me says route.ts. route.ts. I'm just going to give this one that comes from V1 recipes, okay, to create endpoints, okay. So your task is to seed all the data in the DB, and then you also create all the API endpoints needed for this commercial API. The sad thing is that we are using Scala docs. We are using Scala docs for the API documentation, okay, in this file, which is inside the open API. So I'm also just going to say open API. So this file is actually here in the data. So please update it with all the API endpoints, okay. Then the fourth is that we have already implemented authentication for users who will use our API, okay. And the users will be able to create endpoints, will be able to create API keys that they will later use to to use our API. Okay, so we have the dashboard that is generic. So you need to create the dashboard pages, like the API keys, API keys area or page where the user can create API keys. Okay, he should be able to copy that API key later, even after the creation. He should also have the usage page to see the requests. Okay, see the API requests. Okay, there should be also a link to the API docs. I'm just gonna say Scala docs. What else? On the dashboard page, add stats, and I think that's it. And profile page. Now, lastly, what is going to be, I think, hard to implement, or what we need to finally add, is this API is for sale. So we need to basically also add the way to sell this API, right, at the end of the day. So for Ugandans, we are going to go ahead and use this D gateway. Okay, just going to use the gateway. If you just like if you're just in Europe or any other place, you can use Stripe, and you can use this Stripe UI component, this one. Okay, you can just go ahead and use this Stripe UI component. But first, I'm just going to use this one for the API purposes. So I will just click on Docs, and I will scroll to this area where we have this API reference, this here. So I will give it this documentation. So I just say finally this API will be for sale. Okay, so we need users to subscribe to different plans. Okay, in this case we will use the gateway. So can just like add this link here for the gateway. Now I also have a dedicated documentation specifically for, if I go to blogs, I have the blog for subscriptions. So I will, because this is going to be a subscription based service, so I have also a blog for subscription, which is I'm not seeing the subscriptions. It is here. Okay, so I'm just also going to give it this blog. Okay, for where you don't understand, so for where you don't understand, please ask questions. Okay, so this is a lot of work. So I'm just going to tell it like please read, plan, and execute. So it needs to really plan for this because these are a lot of features. It needs to create a plan. So I'm just going to do that. And for that, I will just simply go ahead and wait to do all this. And I think I'll be back with what it has done. Okay, so yeah, let's just go ahead. I'm just going to pause my video. So I'll come back with what it has done for this task I've given it. And basically when it is done, that's going to be our API. Will be preparing to deploy this. And yeah. Hello everyone. So after fixing and running everything, so I just want to deploy this API. So let me hope you went ahead and fixed what was remaining. So I remember the last prompt that I did was for fixing a number of things, and they all changed. So what I just want right now is to deploy this API. But before we deploy, there is only one thing that I just want to remind you about the cause. Okay, so the cross-origin resource sharing, this issue is a common issue when another site is trying to use your API. I believe you might have seen this this issue somewhere. So I just want to go ahead and make sure that I fix this before we deploy. So I'm just going to go ahead and just copy this async headers. Okay, just going to go ahead and copy this async headers, and I'm just going to go ahead and take this to our next config. Okay, so inside the next config in here, I'm just going to go ahead and paste in this. So that's the only thing I just want to do. And basically what it is doing here is allowing the source, then there is this. So the origin, if you want, you can specify the origin is here, but I'm just going to leave it star so that everyone can just go ahead and connect in here. Okay, yeah, so that is the one I just want to change. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to deploy this app, and we see how we can start getting it people to use it. So I'm just going to go first to GitHub, and I will just go ahead and create my repo and push this code to that repo. I'm just going to go here and just going to call this Yuga Food API. Okay, I will just use Uganda local food recipes API. Okay, so you can just go ahead and create this repo, and I can just go ahead and do this. So you can just go ahead and say git. So all it is, I think, a git repo. So I could just say git add dot. Okay, git add dot, and I'm just going to go ahead and git add dot, and then I'm just going to go ahead and paste in this. Okay, then I'll just go to Vercel, try to deploy this API. I'll just go to Vercel. So of course, finally, when these APIs start getting traction, it is necessary that you actually put them or transfer them to the VPS. So here I'm just like showing you how I'm deploying them, but later on, all these APIs, I'm going to shift them to my VPS. So yeah, for now, for this purpose here, it is easy to show you adding them to this. But basically what I'm just going to do later on, I'm just going to push all these APIs. I'll just go make sure that I just change them and deploy them on a VPS. And if you want to show, if you want me to show you how I put them to the VPS, you can let me know in the comment section. Okay, so you can see that it has went ahead and successfully deployed. I'm just going to go to continue to dashboard. Okay, so what I just basically need is this to replace it. I have to get this deployed URL, and we go ahead and update it in the environmental variables. Okay, just going to get this and replace it in the environmental variables, the yuga food dot vasair dot app. I'll just go ahead and so I'm just going to go here. Let me go get this. So before we go ahead to test it, I'm just going to go ahead and update the environmental variables. So I went ahead, updated all the environmental variables, and I'm just going to want to test only one thing, maybe to log in. Just want to check if authentication is working. That's the only thing I just want to go ahead and test. If we can just like log in, and then these other tests you can just go ahead and test them. Yeah, so you can see that the authentication is actually working. You can also check if these sections, like for the API docs, are also connected and working properly. So you can see you can just go and look at all these things. You can just go ahead and look at this has also updated and other things. So yeah, you can just go ahead and test all these. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you have any video you suggest we make, you can just also put it in the comment section. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next video.